The weight in Darius Washington's hands feels like nothing at first. He's lifting, focusing on his reps, the hum of the gym filling his ears. The music, the chatter, everything's normal. Until it isn't. With a sudden sharp jolt, his eyes widen. His grip loosens and the dumbbells fall, hitting the floor with a heavy thud. His body sways. For a split second, everything is still. Then, his legs buckle. He hits the floor hard. His vision blurs, fading to black. The gym goes silent. Zaria Coleman, his best friend, is the first to react. She's standing a few feet away, her gaze locked on him. "Darius," she shouts, rushing to his side. The chaos that erupts around them feels distant. Her hand shakes as she presses it to his chest. His heartbeat is faint. Too faint. People begin to move, but their actions feel slow, as if trapped in some weird, unspoken shock. Zaria's voice breaks through the static. "Darius, come on, man, wake up!" She tries shaking him, her breath coming in short, sharp gasps. Her heart races. Something's wrong. This isn't just exhaustion or a momentary slip. The faintness on his face tells her something deeper is happening. The crowd still stands frozen, unsure, waiting for someone to do something. But Zaria knows it's up to her. Her hands are shaking as she pulls out her phone to call for help. But inside, her mind spins. She's never seen him like this before. Not like this. And just like that, the unspoken question hits her. What happened? Why did he pass out? Was this just the workout or something far worse? The seconds feel like hours. Hi viewers, what's the longest you've ever worked out without feeling any signs of trouble? Let me know in the comments below. Her fingers tremble as she dials. "Please," she whispers, half to herself. The phone rings once, twice. She's already trying to figure out how to revive him. How to get him to open his eyes. But nothing. What if this wasn't just a workout failure? What if it was something deeper? Zaria's heart pounds as the paramedics finally burst through the door. The gym's air seems thicker now, heavier. The paramedics rush to Darius, taking over with practiced ease. One checks his pulse, while the other hooks him up to an oxygen mask. Zaria steps back, her chest tight. She wants to stay close, but they push her aside, expertly taking control of the situation. She's left standing there, motionless, surrounded by curious onlookers and strangers. Her mind races. What could it be? He's always been the picture of health, always on top of his workouts, his meals, his fitness. What happened? She recalls just this morning. Darius had seemed fine. More than fine. He was even joking about hitting new PRs today. The paramedics work fast, but it feels like they're taking too long. Zaria can't help but stare at Darius's face. The color is gone, his skin pale, her breath catches. They're loading him onto the stretcher now, moving him swiftly. The gym's hum fades into the background, the world narrowing until it's just Darius, lying unconscious, and the people around him who can do nothing but try to bring him back. Zaria watches as they take him out of the gym, into the ambulance, and she's left standing in the middle of the room. What happened? What was really going on with him? Did he just push himself too hard, or is it something else entirely? She thought she knew him, thought she knew everything. But this isn't something she could have predicted. What's happening to Darius? Why did he collapse like that? Could it have been prevented? Zaria shakes her head, snapping herself back to reality. She has to know. She can't just sit around wondering. She has to get to the hospital. The hospital waiting room feels sterile, cold. Darius has been in there for almost an hour now. Zaria paces, her mind replaying the scene in the gym, the dumbbells dropping, the way he just collapsed. It doesn't make sense. Marcus, Darius's best friend, sits next to Zaria, his elbows on his knees. He's trying to keep calm, but she can tell he's not doing any better. The both of them exchange glances but say nothing. What's there to say? Neither of them knows what's going on. "I should have done something sooner," Zaria mutters under her breath, her voice tight. "Maybe if I noticed something, before it got this bad." "You didn't know," Marcus says, his voice strained but firm. "None of us did. I should have known something was off. He was acting different today, but I didn't. I didn't think it was anything." Marcus rubs his eyes. "We all get tired sometimes, overdo it. It happens." Zaria bites her lip, fighting the urge to cry. She looks at the door to the emergency room. How long is it going to take to get some answers? What if it's something worse than just exhaustion? The nurse who had taken Darius inside finally returns. "Are you the family?" she asks Zaria, looking at her with soft, tired eyes. Zarya's voice barely breaks through the lump in her throat. Yes, I'm his sister. Come with me, the nurse says, turning away without another word. Zarya stands up, her legs feeling weak under her, and follows. As they approach the ER, the nurse turns. He's stable for now. The doctor will explain everything soon. Stable? Zarya's mind races. But what does that mean? What exactly happened to Darius? What did they find in his system? Was it his heart? His blood pressure? Could it be something he'd been hiding? Zarya barely hears the nurse's steps as they walk toward the operating room. What did the doctor mean by stable? Inside the hospital, everything moves fast. The beeping of machines, the quick, efficient movements of the doctors. The room smells of antiseptic, cold and uninviting. Zarya barely registers anything as they lead her to a private room. A small part of her hopes they have good news. But she knows, deep down, that things don't move this fast unless something serious happened. The doctor enters, looking grim. Miss Washington, he says, his voice even but cold. We found the cause of your brother's fainting. Zarya holds her breath, hoping for something she can understand. Darius's blood pressure dropped significantly, causing a reduction in oxygen levels to his brain. The cause of that drop is still under investigation, but it's clear that his body couldn't keep up with the strain. His autonomic nervous system malfunctioned. It's rare, but it happens. Zarya's head spins. Is he going to be okay? The doctor pauses. He's stable for now, but we'll need to monitor him closely. His body will need time to recover. Zarya exhales. It's not the answer she wanted, but it's better than what she feared. But what does it mean for the future? Could it happen again? Was this something he could control, or was it out of his hands? Hours later, Zarya sits beside Darius's bed. The steady beep of the monitor is a constant reminder of what nearly happened. Her brother's body is resting, but the uncertainty hangs in the air. He still hasn't woken up. Zarya watches him carefully, wondering what's really going on inside his body. Why hadn't he told her about the warning signs? Why hadn't he mentioned feeling dizzy or weak? Hi viewers, have you ever had a time when you ignored your body's warning signs, thinking you'd be fine? Tell me about it in the comments below. Her mind races. Could Darius have prevented this if he'd listened to his body more carefully? Could he have known that something was wrong? But it's too late to ask those questions now. The doctor returns, pulling Zarya from her thoughts. We're going to run more tests, but for now, just let him rest. His body needs time to recover. Zarya nods, staring at her brother. He looks so peaceful, yet so fragile. Will he ever be the same? And just as she thinks she might get some clarity, the monitor flatlines for a moment. What's happening now? The sharp beep of the monitor grows erratic, piercing through the sterile air of the hospital room. Renee Washington stands frozen in the hallway, her hands clenched into fists, her heart pounding in her chest. What's happening to him? She mutters under her breath, eyes glued to the nurses running in and out of the room. Inside, Darius's heart rate drops drastically. A low whoosh fills the room as the machine warns them. The doctors are moving quickly now. Voices urgent, but the cold panic in the air tells Zarya that something is terribly wrong. Get the crash cart in here. Now! The doctor's voice cuts through the room, and Zarya feels her stomach turn. She can't move, can't think. All she can do is stare at Darius's lifeless form. Helpless. Her legs feel like jelly as she steps forward, taking a shaky breath. Why? Why did this happen so suddenly? He was fine just hours ago. She can't help but replay everything in her mind. The gym, the way he collapsed without warning. They continue working on him. But the fear is rising. What if this is the end? What if this was something worse than anyone could have imagined? The moments stretch into what feels like eternity, and Zarya can't breathe. The thought that this could be permanent, that Darius might never open his eyes again, grips her. What's happening to Darius's body? Why isn't he waking up? Her eyes dart from the doctor to the monitors, hoping for a sign of life. Time is slipping away. Hi viewers, has anyone in your life gone through a sudden collapse like this? Let us know in the comments. The monitor flatlines for a split second, and Zarya gasps, her breath catching in her throat. The world stops moving. What comes next is impossible to predict. The seconds tick by, like hours. Zarya feels as though her chest is collapsing in on itself. The lights in the room blur as she watches, her eyes fixed on the doctor as he yells orders. The crash cart is here. The defibrillator paddles are placed on Darius's chest, and with a steady hand, the doctor pushes the button. Nothing. They try again. And again. Zaria's breath is shallow, her heart pounding as her brother's body lies there, motionless. His heart isn't responding. Is he gone? She whispers, though the words feel empty, useless. It feels like an impossible reality. Renee, standing just outside the door, can't hear the answer. She's paralyzed by the weight, each second dragging her closer to a place she doesn't want to go. The doctor presses his lips together, then finally speaks. We're not giving up yet. We'll keep trying until we're sure. Zaria holds on to that thread of hope, but it feels fragile, like a whisper in the wind. She reaches out, touching Darius's cold hand. It's as though her body knows what her mind refuses to accept. And just then, the heart rate monitor makes a noise. A soft beep, low but steady. He's still alive. Zaria takes a shaky breath, relief rushing over her in waves. She dares to believe that maybe, just maybe, he'll make it through this. But she knows this isn't over. It can't be. What's going to happen now? Darius's body is still fighting, but the doctors aren't certain if this is just temporary. He's stable, but for how long? The next few hours are a blur. Darius is still unconscious, but his vital signs are steady. Doctors explain that there's still a risk. The collapse could happen again unless they get to the root of the problem. Zaria listens, but the words sound muffled in her ears. She can't shake the image of him lying there, so still. Marcus, who had been pacing in the waiting room, now stands at her side. His eyes are tired, full of worry. Do you think it was just the workout? Or is there something more? He asks, his voice strained with concern. Zaria shakes her head. I don't know. Maybe it's just too much stress. Too much pushing his body too hard. But deep down, she knows this feels different. Stress doesn't make someone collapse that quickly. Something else is wrong. The doctor enters the room again. We've run all the tests. We're still waiting on a few results, but for now, we believe it's a rare condition. It causes the autonomic nervous system to malfunction temporarily. In layman's terms, his body couldn't regulate his heart rate properly, which led to the collapse. Zaria stares at him. Will it happen again? The doctor hesitates before answering. There's a chance. That's why we need to monitor him closely over the next 24 hours. It's the first clear answer they've gotten. Zaria holds her breath. It's not a guarantee. But at least there's an explanation. At least now they know what they're dealing with. What if it happens again? What if he's never the same? Zaria doesn't want to ask the question, but she can't stop it. She watches the machines beep steadily, her heart a little less heavy, but still unsure. Darius finally opens his eyes. It's a small movement, just a flutter at first. His eyelids twitch before they slowly open. Zaria leans forward, hardly believing it. His gaze meets hers, but it's unfocused. He blinks several times before a slow recognition crosses his face. The beeping on the monitor increases, and Zaria smiles, though her heart is still heavy. You're awake, she says, her voice barely above a whisper. Darius's lips move. Zaria? His voice is weak, cracking as if he hasn't spoken in days. What happened? Zaria fights back tears, her voice breaking. You collapsed, Darius. You passed out at the gym. They had to work on you for hours. His expression falters. What? I don't remember. That's the thing. He can't remember anything about the collapse, the chaos that followed, or the hours of uncertainty. But Zaria does. And that's what scares her. What did the doctors miss? What else could be hidden beneath the surface? The answer isn't clear. The doctors have stabilized him, but they still don't have all the answers. The days that follow are a blur of doctors, tests, and endless questions. Darius is recovering, but the shadow of uncertainty still looms over him. What if this happens again? What if his body can't keep up? Zaria watches him carefully. He's trying to act like everything is fine, but she can see the cracks. He's not the same Darius anymore. The one who pushed through everything. He's now questioning his body, questioning himself. Zaria looks at her brother, and she sees something else now. A fear she never thought she'd see. Darius is afraid. The final test results come in. The doctors confirm that Darius's condition is rare. But there's a way to prevent it. He has to change his lifestyle, take better care of his health. Stress management, more rest, and fewer intense workouts. It's a wake-up call. Darius doesn't like it. He wants to keep pushing his limits, but the reality is too clear now. What if he can't follow through? What if this moment changes everything about his life? Zarya takes a deep breath. You have to listen to your body, Darius. You have to learn balance. He nods, but the uncertainty is still there. Will he be able to adjust?